The petition filed by former Army Commander Sarath Fonseca on the loss of his parliamentary seat was taken up for consideration in the Court of Appeal today.
President's counsel Romesh De Silva, who appeared on behalf of the petitioner, noted that a written request has been sent to the President and the Secretary to the Minister of Justice requesting a written document explaining the presidential pardon granted to the former Army Commander. He stated in court that they have not yet received a response to this request. President's counsel Romesh De Silva pointed out that in order for the petition to be considered, the court requires a thorough understanding of the pardon given to Sarath Fonseca. Thereby, the bench instructed the court registrar to inform the President as well as the Secretary to the Minister of Justice and obtain a copy of the response. The case was postponed to the 17th of July.
You're with the news first, taking a look at other local stories now. Investigations have commenced into the death of a Maldivian national who fell off the 18th floor of a luxury apartment complex in Colombo. Investigations are being conducted under the directions of the Colombo Crimes Division. Police added that statements are being obtained from those who were with the deceased Maldivian national at the time of the incident. The police media spokesperson said that the incident took place at around 4 a.m. today. The deceased person has been identified as 37-year-old Mohammed Nisrad. Police said that the Colombo Fort Chief Magistrate conducted the magisterial inquiry this morning. The police further said that 3 of those who were with the Maldivian national at the time of the incident were Sri Lankan women.
Journalists raised questions on the forthcoming provincial council polls at 2 separate media briefings today.
The election secretariat stated that 1.5 billion rupees will have to be spent to conduct 3 provincial council polls. The government has no feeling for the people. They do not care about them. If they do care about them, they wouldn't dissolve the provincial councils before their tenure ends and hold staggered elections purely to secure their power. We will launch a campaign to topple this government. Not only the UNP, Hillary Clinton also made this statement recently. Electoral lists need to be formulated. Do you think this is an easy task? That means there are 9,000 votes. This could change the results. There was an era when the people entered parliament with 27 votes. With 9,000 votes, about 100 people could be elected. As a government, we have been discussing the possibility of holding elections with the relevant chief ministers. The government hopes to conduct these elections according to the constitution and the proper legal framework. You're with the news first. Welcome back to the news. The Ministry of Environment says that the laws on the transportation of timber and furniture have been relaxed. Issuing a communique, the ministry has stated that this decision was taken for the convenience of the public.
Minister of Environment Anura Priyadarshini Appa, when signing the Gazette notification amending the laws pertaining to the transportation of timber and furniture, had said, quote, "The President is against the idea of chaining the people through laws. I personally believe that the people cannot be asked to adhere to laws by tightening their belts. They should be given the freedom according to the need of the time," unquote. The communique noted that the relaxation of the laws will apply to Guinea-Sapu timber and furniture made of Guinea-Sapu in all administrative districts. Moreover, the relaxation of laws will not apply to timber and furniture made of ebony, kalumedria, sandalwood and nathanwood.
This relaxation of the regulations will allow people to have illegally operated timber felling facilities inside or bordering forest lands, and also to have illegal furniture making facilities inside or bordering the forest lands. And thereafter, when they make furniture, no one is able to detect or take any action against a person for transportation of timber, whether it is obtained legally or illegally.
Meanwhile, it has been decided once again to arrest individuals who transport sand without permits. Police media spokesperson SP Ajit Rohan said that all police stations have been informed in this regard. On the 10th of May, Minister of Environment Anura Priyadarshini Appa, speaking in Parliament, said that sand could be transported without a permit. Thereby, permission was given to transport sand mined under a valid license from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. At the Cabinet media briefing held today, a journalist raised a question in this regard.
මේ ප්‍රශ්නය නිරන්තරයෙන් කැබිනට් එකේ සාකච්ඡා කළා.
Following continuous cabinet discussions, we decided to provide this freedom to the public to enhance their economic well-being. However, owing to a constitutional issue, problems have arisen. We will act immediately to rectify this. The government is obliged to rectify this.
ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා. ඒ ව්‍යාකූල තත්ත්වය නිවැරදි කිරීමට රජය බැඳී සිටිනවා. ඒ වෙන ඉදිරියේදී කටයුතු කිරීමට බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
Moving on to a lighter story now, Chilean President Sebastián Piñera hosted a dinner to bid farewell to Chile's Olympic hopefuls before their departure for the London Games.
Chile will be sending 36 athletes to compete in London, and Chilean swimmer Crystal Corbridge said they were all determined to make their country proud. Chilean President Sebastián Piñera, who hosted the dinner at the presidential palace, said all of Chile would be cheering the athletes on as they face the challenges ahead. The 36 athletes will represent Chile in a broad range of sports from athletics, archery, gymnastics, judo, wrestling to sailing. Chile has won a total of 13 medals, including 2 gold medals in the men's tennis doubles and singles events at the 2004 Athens Olympics.
It was also reported today that the Olympic flame will visit the Queen and the Prime Minister's residencies on the penultimate day before the opening ceremony. Still, the Olympic torch relay visited the Scottish Parliament building and Bamburgh Castle on its journey from Edinburgh to Alnwick on day 27 today.
Today's 140.2-mile journey started from Edinburgh Live site in Festival Square. 130 inspirational torchbearers carried the flame through 24 communities on day 27 of its 70-day torch relay today. The last torchbearer of the day lit a cauldron on stage, giving the audience a chance to see the flame.
Now, 6 individuals who robbed a Buddha statue from the Itukulma temple in Nochiagama have been taken into police custody. According to the police, the suspects had stolen the statue, which was considered to be made of gold, from the temple. The police had discovered the stolen artifact hidden near a paddy field in the Moravakanda area. Information has also been revealed that the suspects had hidden the stolen artifact in 3 different locations. Police Special Task Force engages in a search operation in the Villachi area in Anuradhapura.
When we moved closer, a person clad in white ran away from the area. Then they quickly filled up the places they had dug up and left the area with the machine they had brought. The STF was there when all this happened.
It was under my instructions that the STF was deployed to the area to arrest treasure hunters. Inspector General of Police. Were the perpetrators arrested?
Assistant U.S. Trade Representative for South Asia, Michael Delaney, says that the trade relationship between the USA and Sri Lanka could expand rapidly if the overall trade and investment regime in the country is improved. The American diplomat made this statement during a media briefing at the American Center in Colombo today.
Our trade investment relationship continues to grow at pretty impressive rates, and we're the largest destination. We're the biggest customer for Sri Lanka's exports, something we're proud of. So we're doing a lot now, but there's always more we can do. And we think that with the end of the war, there are many, many trade and investment opportunities exist now that probably didn't exist before. Okay, so we're looking at total two-way trade of about $2.5 billion. That's a lot, but again, we think we can easily triple that over the next 5 years. We see lots of room for improvement in the overall trade and investment regime in Sri Lanka. If the overall trade and investment regime were improved, we think we could grow our trade and investment much faster. The Sri Lankan government, I think, is aware of this. They have made some changes. We think further changes would be helpful in growing our relationship.
Time now for today's cartoon of the day, which we selected from among the English newspapers.
The transfer given to the Deputy Principal of the Galkulama Dhammadinna Mahavidyalaya by the Education Secretary of the North Central Province last September was annulled by the Provincial Civil Appeals High Court. Justice Bandula Karunaratne stated that the Provincial Education Secretary had made the transfer based on political reasons, was exceeding the powers vested in him. This is the 11th time a transfer given by the Provincial Education Secretary has been annulled by court since 2010. On every occasion, court ruled that the Provincial Education Secretary had acted with political intentions. The Provincial Education Secretary was once warned in open court regarding his actions during the hearing of one such petition. He was notified to ensure no harm is caused to his reputation due to his political affiliations, since he was an official dependent on public funds. In addition to court rulings, the Sri Lankan Human Rights Commission on 6 occasions annulled teacher transfers made by the Provincial Education Secretary since 2010 up until now. In every instance, the Human Rights Commission ruled that the transfers were made based on a political agenda. Although the Provincial Education Secretary enters the record books as an individual who has acted in an illegitimate manner to fulfill political needs on 18 occasions, it has had a negative influence on the education sector in the North Central Province. No trust can be placed on the Provincial Education Secretary that he would not take any further decisions based on political needs, which leaves the teachers and principals with no other alternative than seeking justice at their own expense, since the Provincial Education Department has organized a series of meetings in schools in the Anuradhapura district in violation of circulars. A document issued pertaining to one such meeting had stated that these meetings, which have been organized at a cost of 1 million rupees, are being held to honor teachers and students and also to discuss shortcomings in schools. Discussing shortcomings in schools with persons who do not have the intelligence to understand that such meetings held during school time hinders education activities itself is a shortcoming. The most recent decision taken with regard to teachers of the North Central Province, in which functions are organized to honor teachers, is to take away the right of teachers to higher education. A letter announcing such a haphazard decision has also been issued by the Provincial Education Secretary. Governor of the North Central Province, this is over to you.